Greetings, Patrick here. IFC MidKnights. As you can see, the whole crew's here. The mighty Mary Wilson. I was going to say Crash Cadaver, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to call him Speed Racer. A good friend Ben is back. So glad to have him back. Now it seems the universe is back in order when Ben's here. And we're going to be here talking about a new IFC movie to us. And we're talking about Pontypool from 2008. And I wanted to talk about this one because I also wanted to talk a little bit about the actor who's the lead in this, Stephen McHattie, who is totally, I cannot think honestly, in the world of horror movies and actors, I cannot think of a more underrated and unknown actor than Steve McHattie. And that's a shame because he's awesome in everything he does. He just is. He just everything he's in, he elevates it.
I was trying to think of what other scary movie he's in. I couldn't.
He was in Haunter. He was in
he's in the Haunter one. Yeah. Yep. Okay.
And he was in the movie that we watched last month, Z.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the doctor in that.
Mm-hmm.
From like the 80s or 90s, I remember him stuff.
Yeah, he's been in so many things, and so many horror movies. It's just it would take a while if we brought up his IMDb and we went through it. You'd be shocked to see all the movies that he's in. It's not like what he hasn't been in. It's what hasn't he been in, because he's been in just about everything. And he's a chameleon. He just blends in the background, but he's there. He's always there. And so, and I do remember when Pontypool, reading about Pontypool back in the Fangoria days, and I do remember reading about this and how people at Fangoria absolutely loved it. And so I felt pretty blessed when I got this. I actually got this at the library.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Nice.
So what did you guys know about the movie? Have you ever heard of it before it got picked?
I watched it.
Yeah.
Heard
of it.
I watched it when it first came out with my friend Jess. And I liked it.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's so interesting. I'm glad I picked this one for us to chew on. I guess we'll go around and get some first impressions. Mary, if you want to lead us off with your impressions.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what we were getting into. A zombie, a virus, what kind of apocalypse was going on? Because it said it on the back. It said, "Watch out," But it was a radio station. I always thought it was going to be, once it got started, it was going to be like a played movie for sure, because the way you could hear him talking on the radio, and especially when you hear military getting involved, that's trouble.
Real quick, I'll go to the chat. I forgot to look over there. Thank you for that, Ben. Hey, Anthony, how are you? And Ninja is here. He says, hello, legends. Hola, legends. See, Ben, they knew you were back. Let's see. Yeah. See, he embodied Grant Mazzy. I totally agree with that. Yeah, this is one of his... this is definitely one of Steve McHattie's best performances. Really interesting movie. But what was your impression of it, Ben? After you said you saw it when it came out, and then you revisited it. What do you think?
I think I remember watching it when it came out. I thought it was a really interesting premise. If I felt like the pacing was a little slow, maybe for me in that moment, the first time I watched it. So I was like, okay, I knew what it was going to go on this time around. So I enjoyed it. It felt pertinent today, and even more so maybe than it did before to me. But I really liked it. I like movies that are contained in like one location. So for me, I just I like the general vibe of it. You know, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that too. They called that a water bottle shoot, where you're just basically just in one location, and that's where you stay at. I mean, theirs was just a tiny bit bigger than that, but you know what was it? 2 rooms, 3 rooms they were in for the whole damn movie.
Yeah, but it's the same
So
like
yeah,
same basic location, right?
right. So they can concentrate solely on just on the dialogue, on and I think shows like this. I think you're right. I think they're really good. Um, Whenever I see a movie like this, I'm going to be attracted to watch it because you know that you're going to get some really well, hopefully so. You're going to get some just fantastic acting, and I felt with this movie that's what we got for pretty much for the most part. What did you mean by the relevancy though, Ben? I mean, how do you think this movie could, when you saw it back when it came out and to now, what did you notice when you rewatched it that is relevant to today?
It just feels like the premise is sort of about like an infection caused by like language and communicating like certain words slash ideas, right? Creating sort of like a mob mentality. This is just how I take it. And so like I don't necessarily want to get all political, but just the concept of like someone taking like whatever small words and ideas and then they become infected and then they have to find a victim to kill themselves on. It was just like, you know.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's. I wouldn't say political at all. I think it's a fascinating observation, and one. I mean, what do you think, Mary? I mean, do you feel along with Ben? I mean, I do. I think he hit it right on the button.
No, I watched it a couple times. I was still some spots I was lost in. I tell you, that COVID really knocked the shit out of me. I had
Uh,
COVID last month, so concentration has been wee. Yeah, bless you.
Thank you. Uh, uh,
But
Jason says
I
miscommunication.
like that
Yeah.
that radio host. I like how he didn't take any shit and he wanted to say what he wanted to say on there and they were trying to hold him back. No, don't like hold him back. Don't say stuff on the radio. We don't want to hear people dying on the radio. Watch out. So at least he had somebody to hold him back.
Yeah, his character, Grant Mazzy. I mean, he was an interesting character.
Mm-hmm.
You could see that, with the way he's driving to there, that he had just been at one time. He must have been a big name somewhere, and then he just letting go. That's what radios do though with shock jocks. Not it's not uncommon for they'll bring in a shock jock to get everybody buzzing, get everybody tuned into the radio station. They use them like a shock troop, to get in there and get everybody to, like they said, like he said in there, says, we want to
Right.
get
That's
to,
why it was so
we
hard to
don't want to,
believe.
right,
Like
we want to get
what was going on. No way. How's this guy know? He's the guy, the helicopter guy in the sky. How is he? Ken.
Yeah. Well, I just like the idea because we did see him, as the movie opens up and we see him coming into work through that snow, and it's in a small town. That he's not exactly roaring to go to work, and I think basically his character probably had been fired from a lot of radio stations. Bring in Grant Massey, fire up fire up the listeners, keep them there for a year, and then get rid of them. And that does happen to radio, or it used to. So you see him though, as you see him progressively going down though, and here he is in a small town with a very tiny radio station with a very tiny listening audience, and he still he's still thinking that he's still in New York City, and he's not. He's this in a really small town, and they don't really necessarily need what he's bringing to the party. They got his name, but that's not really what they wanted. They wanted him just to just be mellow, and you could see him clashing with his program director about that. I thought he portrayed, in meeting him, I liked him. I liked Grant a lot. I'm not a big shock jock guy, but I liked him a lot.
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job of being talking like a radio personality. He wasn't exactly like. I mean, I think he was his performance wasn't exactly like a shock jock type of performance. What I think of shock jock, but it felt like he was a reined in shock jock.
Yes. What do you think, Mary?
Yeah, that's definitely how it was. They kept their eye on him. It's like, oh, cut you off. Here's another story to talk about. Drop that shit.
You sort of get the idea too. He knows that he's free falling basically. Here he is in this tiny station. With a program director and a screener. That was it. And
didn't somebody give him a bottle of liquor too?
I was just going to mention that he was sitting there, pouring the liquor into his coffee cup, and they're looking the other way. But you see that, and it's another sign that he's he may have had a part in his in this being let go. The drinking part might have played a part into it. We don't know. Doesn't tell us.
Did he know? He was saying that he was fired, like the guy on the phone. He said, "You're fired," but
yeah,
so I
his
guess
manager.
he knew he was already fired.
Yeah, versus at his manager. Yeah, I saw that. Where he said you're fired. He doesn't want to be at this mall. He didn't really want to be there, but I didn't feel like there was any bitterness about it. Like, that was interesting to me. It's like it seemed more like just resigned. Like all the fire that he used to have, even though we saw glimpses of it a couple of times. But overall, the fire that made him Grant Mazzy, it just wasn't there anymore. He was just playing out the string. See, Jason says he played a big city asshole in a small country town really well. Yes, he did. Very much so. Hey, Van City, welcome in. Yeah, I agree with you. About that. But he didn't have the ego, though. I mean, he didn't. He really didn't. He was just trying to. Well, I'm going to let you guys share that. And what was your first impression about the program director?
Oh, that he likes her. You can tell that right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Not the hero one, right? The other one.
I think he definitely liked both. I think he liked both people. The younger girl definitely had hero worship in her eyes. And Sydney, the program director, she is just doing her best to hold, not to let him run wild. Even though he really wasn't that much. But she was she was a little scared that he would just get out there and just get going, and she wouldn't be able to rein him in. But Laurel Ann definitely had hero worship.
Yeah, wherever she said she was somewhere, they're like her veteran. But that went quick, didn't it? That was a quick. How many minutes was she in the movie?
Not very long.
It went by pretty quick, the movie, it seemed. And at one part, it was like once he got into it, it went pretty fast.
I mean, she was like present through more than half of the movie.
Was she? Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what happens when
maybe it seems that way because like she was one of the early people who got caught up with the virus or whatever.
Sure did. It was like, wow. Yeah, and then, like you said, the doctor was a rough acting doctor, but she did good. The hero girl did good acting. I have seen her before, and I can't figure out where I've seen her before.
Well, her name's Lisa Hooley, and she's actually married to Stephen McCaddy.
Oh, really?
And yeah, yep, they were real life married. That's interesting how you picked up their chemistry like that. Yeah, because they did have great chemistry. I mean, it felt really organic, and it turned out that it was, which is
So
which
they
is
were
great.
married. She reminds me of the lady from Resident Alien, that actress.
I still have not seen that.
Oh, let's see what her name is. Cast. Sarah Tomko. Very similar acting. They acted just alike. Yeah, they were. That's wonderful. Yeah, I liked her. I liked her. I could tell that she had chemistry with him. And then you said the hero, but I didn't see the hero part with the other girl. Like she was looking at him like, oh. I like him so much.
I caught that. I felt like she had like stars in her eyes because he was like she was like this small town girl and he was like a big radio personality at some point.
Maybe that's what, yeah.
And like she like you could tell she was always like sort of. I got the feeling like she was always looking up to him.
Yeah, she was she was letting him go a little bit further, and Sydney would tell her, don't do this, and turn around, and she already done it, like let us call in, or I think she is, definitely, she probably would notice the liquor bottle in the desk more first before Sydney would. I don't necessarily think Sydney would. I'm not sure. I mean, it all depends. I guess it depends how much he's into it. I mean, you don't want a drunk DJ on the air. So I mean, did she know about the booze in there? I would say yes. I say both of them know yes. But one was just hoping for the best. I'm sure the hero one was thought that was a rebellious moment. Something else to look up to. So, and we meet. I thought it was really interesting. They went around, and then they went to their DJ, their helicopter guy, Ken. In the now that was some genius. That was genius right there.
Eye in the sky.
Eye in the sky, and turns out that he's driving a yellow dart. I think I don't know why, but I was sitting there going like, oh, I was sort of bummed by that, because I was thinking, wow, this station, I was thinking to myself going like, man, having a helicopter, that seems to be really expensive for such a small station. Yeah, but yeah, he and then his backstory too toward the end was a shocker. But I thought all the voice acting in the movie was really strong too.
Definitely.
I mean, you need strong acting like throughout this movie because it's such a small production, So you need to keep like the story going. But yeah, he definitely felt like it was just sort of like, I want to say like Midwest sensibility, but he obviously is like Canadian sensibility. But he had sort of like just like I don't know, like that what they call like Minnesota nice about him, It's just sort of like super friendly. I guess Canadians have it in general, but
so and we see a little bit of Grant, his old style coming through, and then Sydney sitting there, sort of, calm down, calm down, calm down, and then we start hearing signs of, from Ken saying that, there's some craziness starting to happen around, and
A crowd of people around some doctor's
right.
house or lab or
They sound like they said the practice, I think. So probably at his medical center, and people were but we didn't know it at the time. But Grant had actually run across one when he stopped, and that lady was in the snowstorm, and she was in the early stages of what was happening, and and he didn't understand what it was, but she didn't try to talk to him or try to get in the car or ask for anything. She was just already infected, and then she moved away from Grant, and Grant just went ahead on to work.
couldn't tell what she was saying, though.
No, she was repeating a word, though.
Mm.
She was repeating a word, and yeah, and of course, it's just I just want to hurry up and get to the disease, but I'll slow down. Because it's so interesting. What a highly original idea for that. I've read plenty of medical adventure books and stuff like that, and we've seen them like Outbreak or Contagion or what have you. But what causes this is so it's something that just whoever thought. I mean, Burgess, just Tony Burgess, the guy who created it, who wrote it. What a fantastic idea.
Definitely different.
Yes.
It's pretty mysterious. I heard that there was books, it's based on a series of books that go way more into the explanation of the virus, but I don't
two more, right?
I didn't look into the books at all, so I don't know, but it is pretty mysterious, open for a lot of interpretation, I think.
They did make a sequel to this, indirect sequel called Dreamland, and they had Steve McCaddy and Lisa Hooley both come in, but they were playing different roles. But it was a spinoff from Pontypool. So
there was an end scene with this. Did you guys watch that after the credits?
Yeah, I didn't understand the Sin City stuff.
So I don't know if it was based on that or not, because they were sort of different characters, right?
Right. Dark Eyes, some shit.
Johnny Deadeye.
Killer, yeah, Dark Eye Killer.
Johnny Deadeyes. So we say that while this is happening, they get the phone call about the doctor's office, and then they brought in guests to come in and sing, and Grant's there, and Laurel Ann and Sydney, and then they sit around and they're watching this group sing. And then we see, for the first time with everybody involved, when one of the singer ends, and they're starting to get ready to go, she starts repeating herself, one of her words. She starts repeating one of her words, and it was a little, everybody caught it, because it's hard not to catch. But of course, no one has no idea what's going on, except that maybe she was nervous, maybe she's scared, but she's repeating the same word over and over. So she, that was, and of course, we see that same singer a little bit later on. Most unexpected. Yeah, yeah, that was her. I saw that and I'm like, whoa, okay, good call.
Okay.
This was also a scene that sort of for me, helped build up the Mazzy's sort of bigger, he had so much disdain for them, this small local thing, you really got the feeling he had fallen from grace and was really sort of regretting his small station at this point, you know what I mean? because they don't
Yes.
really go into like his celebrity or anything. But this is one of the sort of scenes where you get a sense that he was something that dealt, with like more important guests and stories and stuff, and he was like kind of felt like he was underneath him where he should be,
Yeah. I let's touch about that. Let's talk a little bit about that for a quick second, because I thought, what did you think of his character? I mean, did you like his character? Could he come across as arrogant? Did he come across as likable? Did he come across as
He was likable.
resigned? Huh?
Yeah, I liked him.
I liked him too.
He was kind of both. He was arrogant and also like,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's so rare though to see. So rare to see. If you think about it, I mean, most of the time when they're unlikable, you're whistling for Jason or Michael to come get them. Like take them out. It's so because it's so unusual to see a character played like that.
but
He'd be bitter and angry and raging at the world, but he really wasn't.
I think he's used to playing in the movie. He's used to playing a character, and the character is like maybe this arrogant asshole, but like him in real life, it may be like a component of his personality. So he channels it into like this sort of like more intensified persona when he's on the radio. But like in general, he's like a more grounded human. It felt like, because he was never
Yeah.
like when he was not on air, he was never like like an asshole or anything. Like,
No. Yeah, you're right. He wasn't. He was very helpful. He he had feelings watching his friend, watching his coworker. We'll see what happens. I mean, there was part of that where you had a feeling that before he was a shock jock, maybe he was like maybe he was somebody like a talk show host, because he had that sort of when he's sitting there watching the scene in front of her. He's not like yelling or ranting or anything. He's just like watching it, sort of like a journalist. Like he's like a curious look. Like where they against the glass window. That's interesting. I wonder why they're doing that. Instead of just jumping up and down and screaming and like what the hell, and that sort of thing. He was just looking at it with a professional eye, and sadness, because I don't think he wanted to see his friend, go out like that.
the doctor too was like very detached from his emotions on the situation. Like he was very much like like just a interested observer in the whole thing.
Mhm.
That's how he came across to me,
Yeah, because he's like, look at her here. This is where she's doing this, and
Yeah. Like
this
she's
is
not just,
interesting right here, where she's bashing her head against the wall.
What did you guys think of the doctor?
They could put anybody in the part, I guess. Was he French or German? I don't know what.
Actually, he was Armenian.
Yeah.
Armenian. Okay.
I thought like it was it was kind of interesting that he was like, I mean, as far as we know, like everything originated at his location.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like he got away, he slipped into there. So he has like some feeling of like survival, some sense of survival to like allow himself to like make it through all that stuff. And he was very detached, like almost like he was a scientist studying like the whole thing, just like I don't know, even could have been like a self-defense mechanism where you detach yourself and you're just like, okay, I'm just going to observe this. Oh, this must be what happens if she can't find a victim, like but I couldn't tell. But he was very detached, but then also simultaneously he like sort of sacrifices himself for the two other people at the end, right? Trying to draw the crowd away.
Yes.
Pretty sure. Yeah, he went out that window there.
It's I mean, I guess someone had to play that role, but I'm sort of with Mary. I didn't like his performance. I thought he was just I just didn't think it was very strong.
I mean, do you think a different actor could have played that character stronger though?
Yeah, yeah. I think so. I think I think the detachedness of it was way I mean he was like I mean it was like no emotion, zero emotion at all. I mean at all. And
But
remember
like
he
he
just
said,
got the
that's probably how he was supposed to act.
Yeah, I think that was like his character. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I
I
can
don't,
oh I get that. I get that. I mean sure during a regular day to day at the office, but if you're sitting there and you're watching people tear themselves apart, you're gonna have emotions. You're gonna be like, holy shit. You're not going to be just sitting there, just like watching it, like, oh,
You've
that's
been like,
interesting.
Ken,
Look what
holy
he did. He
shit,
took
he
off. He
says.
took off that guy's arm, and now he's beating him with it. That's interesting. I just, I don't see that. I just see him like doing what he did, and that was running to the radio station.
yeah, but
He ran there, and I was also wondering, like, how the hell did he know that window was open?
I think
Yeah,
like, I think that's like sort of, I mean, his detachment didn't really bother me because like, I felt like a self-defense mechanism, like, and a lot of doctors too, just in general, like with things that like would traumatize the fuck out of me, like seeing, someone with like their arm ripped off their body or like whatever, they're just like, they get desensitized to like that violence and everything. Um, to me, I felt like, I don't know that a different actor would have, if they stayed true to the character as it appears that it was written. I don't think like another actor would have necessarily given that character more dimension.
I guess if he had been a scientist instead of a medical doctor,
I
I,
mean, I don't know that this was implied, but there was points of, where like his office was the epicenter. We don't know what his office was, what he was a doctor of, or anything like that. So
5 kilometers.
it was still like the epicenter of this virus. So it could be like he was studying some kind of phenomenon or something, and he was like really did have a lot more information because he gave them a lot of information. Oh, they're just like
yeah.
an antenna now, just like a radio signal. They're not who you think they were anymore. Like he sort of like seemed like he had more information than he should have if he just saw like a bunch of like a angry mob and then ran away to.
I just thought I don't know. I just thought he was just. I think he should have showed a little bit more emotion. And speaking of that, I mean, here's another point for Grant too. The phone calls that he had with Ken. That was some of the best parts of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
How Grant was talking to him, and you could definitely tell that the shock jock had left the building because now he's there again. He's sort of like talking to Ken like a journalist. Like don't get over and compassion. Don't get too close. I'm gonna get it closer in. When he's in the silo and he's pinned and he says just stay there, don't move. His compassion was
Yeah,
radiant
don't get
through
closer.
that scene.
Don't.
Yeah, not the typical. Yeah, get in there and see what is going on. It was like get yourself somebody safe. Don't do anything. Don't put yourself at risk. And that the
His
guy's
place
broken.
exploded though.
Yeah, his place is his. He's sitting there and he's sitting there going like the kid who's after him. He's broken up and I'm gonna see what he's saying. He's saying don't get too close. Most of it would be most people in that place would be sitting there going like get in as close as you can and get it. Get what you can. And then Grant was sitting there talking to him in a cool, calm voice, telling him to be very careful and not to put himself at risk. I mean, my respect for the character just went through the roof with that because, he's showing compassion.
He's saying something. He said, "Don't do it."
Yeah,
Get
well,
up
I mean, the
there.
fact, the and hats off to Ken for trying. He's trying to find out the words You know, he's scared shitless. He even says that. He says, "I'm scared. I'm really scared."
Trying to
You
keep
know,
everybody informed.
yeah. I mean, he could have ran or attempted to run a long time ago, but he was trying to sit there and you know, bring the news to the people. You know,
Stop it.
it was good.
Orange cat's causing trouble.
No, orange cats don't cause trouble.
Yes. Come here.
It's all propaganda. Orange cats are angels with fur.
He's probably found a lizard.
See, he's protecting you.
Ah, I can get him. Get the lizard. Get the spiders.
I just thought the acting here, you know, had really elevated this movie. I mean, really, I mean, cared about all the characters, you know, and you know, and then, and Grant, you know, when the BBC called in, you know, he's sitting there going like, you know, like, what do I
Yeah,
do?
he was
What do I
shocked.
say? Yeah, instead of just grabbing the mic and just like, yeah, you know, he's like, well, we really don't know we don't know. I mean, he was honest. We don't know what's going on. We really don't. You know,
But if they're calling you, you know something's going on.
well, it's really when they're calling you and they're telling you that they know more of what's going on outside than you do, and you're right in the middle of it. I mean, he's calling over from England. He's
Yeah, that's
calling
trouble.
you, and
But
then here you are. You're just a few feet away from it, and you don't know.
they're also implying that it's like separatists, like it's like a
Yeah,
political,
terrorist separatists.
yeah, is what the BBC is like. That's what they're saying.
This isn't political.
Yeah,
Free Quebec. I'm sure Cheryl's sitting over there with the flag sitting there going, what did he just say? I told you it was Canadian. I told you it was Canadian Horror Night tonight, Cheryl.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I you know, and the way he's just like, and all of them, they're all looking at each other like, what's going on? How do we know what? I mean, you know, they're thoroughly confused, and you know, trying to figure things out. No, well, at least they didn't say 51st state, you know. So yeah, I mean, they were just guessing about what was going on, you know, separatist or you know, some sort of you know, military issue or what have you, and the BBC sitting over there, you know, trying to cut, you know, trying to get the bottom of it. I mean, did you ever get a sense, except toward the very end, did you ever get a sense of panic from them, or just confusion?
I did a little bit when he after he heard the baby's voice and the kid talking over the phone or over the radio, and then he started freaking out a little bit.
yeah. I mean, especially like what was the program director's name?
Sydney.
Sydney.
She was freaking out, and it especially took hold of her when the Eye in the Sky died, or whatever, or started like basically got infected or whatever. But like, yeah, I got a sense that those two were concerned. You know what I mean? I got that feeling, especially like when they were like really confused, but they got that transmission that came in French, right? And it was like,
do not translate.
Yeah.
Maybe put that first.
Yeah, probably should have put that. Yeah, probably should have put that first. So the concept for Pontypool, you know, people are getting sick. They're getting sick by saying a word. That is so unusual.
And it's not the same word, I guess, right?
No,
it's a different word.
Different word for
something
different people.
That shows affection. Is that what he was saying in the translation?
Yes. Yeah, like loved ones, baby talk, emotion, the emotion.
Her singing the
And
Valentine's Day song to her kid.
But it was also like uh, very clearly only one language.
Yep, just English.
So that was interesting.
yeah,
It's not like you would think like words just basically are vehicles for ideas or whatever, but it wasn't necessarily even ideas. It was just like certain words. But it wasn't like it's weird that it would be terms of endearment because that means that would like you think it would trigger like a center in your brain or something, and then maybe that was the cause of the virus. But like if you could say terms of endearment in other languages that you speak like and it didn't cause any issues, then it's weird that it would just be a particular language, you know what I mean?
It's a code. Just a code,
well,
I guess.
when the doctor when the doctor figured out that it was he's listening to everybody, and I think the first thing he was listening to was the same thing that Grant did later on. Before they finally put it together, was when someone started repeating the word, to stop them from saying it. Like, sitting there going like, chicken, chicken, chicken. No, no, no. How he saved Sydney at the end. By substituting the word for the word she was trying to use, and that saved her. That saved her from going down the rabbit hole. It's like, and then you have to come up with just the idea that you have to totally rethink your language. You have to,
Maybe you might want to write it down.
But that was another like I would say kind of inconsistency because they're like you have to confuse your like language center, right? You have to forget what that word means. How do you destroy your understanding of a word? But like it's not if it's the understanding of a word, then it would translate to a whole bunch of other languages too, right?
You would think. And the fact that it only affected only English speaking.
Yeah.
And I mean, as soon as they started speaking, they turned around and start speaking French. Do you know how to speak French? And Grant just knew it just a little bit. But for a guy who just knew a little bit, he did a pretty good job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they start talking in French, and and they start writing down too. Of course, like so they wouldn't make any, so they wouldn't speak. I felt
I think
really
even
bad
writing it down was doing it too, though. After a while,
yeah, it
she
may
was
have.
writing, and then she started getting triggered.
Yeah, but she got triggered when she was speaking.
Oh, was that what it was? Okay.
I felt sorry for the call screener, Laurel Ann. I mean, I was trying to think of like, if you caught this disease, how are you catching it? Well, when the doctor said by blood, I'm thinking to myself, well, she got done taping, Laurel Ann's got done taping Sydney. And I was thinking, well, does that mean the Sydney's going to get sick because she had contact with Laurel Ann? But it wasn't. It's not. It wasn't a blood-borne, virus. It's a, that's. And then when when Sydney hears her for the first time, and she starts, repeating her words.
Right. Saying missing,
She's,
Manzy's missing,
yeah.
Sydney. That's dehydration. You need some water.
I thought how they handled her death scene was, yeah, that was sad. That was sad watching her do that. Just keep, walking up there like that.
Slamming.
Yeah, just, and you could see that, it was just, it was horrible to watch.
She was reading her lips too.
Eating her lips.
Reading them. She was reading them.
Oh, she was reading them, yeah, and then she was, then she started chewing them.
Oh, is that what she did?
Yeah, she started chewing her lips. It was like, oh, come on. And then they got to a point. I guess it's where if the person who was infected I guess how did that go? If
They couldn't get to
if they
their
knew the
person,
person
and
was
after a while, they just had like a time limit, and they'd
right,
explode and spew all this shit out of their mouth.
so they were gonna. I guess it was basically just how they were gonna die. They were either gonna die by. That's what I mean. It's like okay, so what if she infected somebody? How was she gonna die? Was she just gonna sit someplace and go to sleep? You know, that part confused me. It's like,
I don't
well,
know.
they
They
have
just keep going and finding more and more victims.
yeah, okay. So
Kill one and find another one and get that one, and whoever talks
so
gets it.
so as long so okay so whoever as long as one person keeps affecting, oh, that's sort of weird. But what happens when you don't do it was weirder. I mean, and she just blew up. Um, the writer Burgess, he said that they were not zombies. He called the people that were affected. He called them conversationalists because they were trying to talk. Imagine trying to talk but not making any sense. You're talking, and you're just trying to get yourself heard, and it'd probably be someone with a stroke or someone with a locked-in syndrome. Like I want to talk but I can't make myself talk, and how frustrating that is. Like I know what I want to say, but nothing's working. Yeah,
That's why they was getting all jumbled up.
mm, yeah,
Repeating
yeah.
everything. Then it was like a stroke because then they had to relearn their language, just like a stroke.
It really was, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't actually have to when Sydney got cured or whatever. Like she didn't have to relearn everything. She
No.
went back to normal.
When they, as soon as the doctor tells them, and as soon as the doctor tells them, hey, and the people are surrounding the radio station, trying to get in, and Sydney comes up with the idea of taking Grant and projecting his voice out on the radio, and causing the people around the building to move toward the voice. It bought them some time, that's for sure. That was pretty ingenious, actually.
Yeah, speaker outside or something.
Mm-hmm.
What did it do? Echo somehow?
I think just out there speaking English is what got them going. I mean, because they heard English, so they reacted to that.
Oh, Honey the cat.
Huh?
Oh, Honey the cat.
Right, yeah. I wonder what happened to Honey. Did you think the Honey got found?
No, he's going meow, meow, meow. Meow is meow.
Uh-huh. So what do you think of what happened next? What do you think of the doctor? The doctor is basically discovering that it was
the blood gushing out of that girl is what happens.
Right.
After. You don't.
Yeah.
He was fascinating. It's fascinating.
Yeah. He didn't have any emotion at all about that, did he?
No, he's excited about the findings.
I thought
that there was an end game then.
Right. I just thought it was interesting how he figured it out. Like if I don't speak English, I'll be safe. I was just like, wow, that's such an interesting.
He started repeating a little bit too, like when he started saying breath or something. Yeah.
Remember what he did? He started talking and he repeated himself and he went like this.
And then he started speaking a different
language. Mm-hmm. And that's when Sydney walked up there and says, "Do you know how to speak French?" I mean,
no.
Yeah. I mean, the only French I know is fry. That's about it.
I know how to say I'm one with the night.
Say what?
I am one with.
Oh. So the doctor, they put out the speaker, and then they lose power. And when the power comes back on, now it's the regular radio station going on, and it's speaking in English, and it causes all the people that had went out, before. Now they come back, and now they're coming inside the building, and when they Grant he was going to try to leave, and he couldn't because they were outside waiting for him. But now they come back. The screener's dead, and it doesn't look very good. They come inside the building. The doctor, he goes out the same way he came in there. I don't know how that would happen. I mean, to me, it's like, what happens if you get outside and you get surrounded by the people? If you speak non-English, does that mean that you will be okay?
I could hear him out there. He wasn't speaking English, and they were still getting his ass.
Were they getting him? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He was like he was drawing them away.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he was like, I can't remember what phrase he was saying, but he was saying
I
something.
couldn't hear him.
He was saying.
I was just curious to know if if he went out there speaking Armenian, would that deter them from attacking him, because they get triggered by the words, but there's no words for them to get triggered by. So why would they attack him?
Yeah, but they're already triggered.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
he wouldn't like infect anyone else, but they're already chanting Sydney whatever is alive, or
Yeah.
Right. Liar. Yeah, that was a cool saying over and over and over.
Without a loop.
Yeah. So he does leave. He goes out to how he came in, which was interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and go out the same window. How in the hell did you know about that window in the first place? And I mean, they never answered that, but that was one of my questions was, how did they know about that window?
Maybe explain it in 2 and 3.
And you would think as soon as he come in, they would have locked that bitch up. But
Oh
no.
hell yeah, you weren't gonna be able to get out.
Yeah.
Now.
Like, yeah, if I saw somebody do that, I'll be like, okay, you're not gonna do that again. But he did. He jumped on there, and yeah, there he goes.
And that's when they went and hid in a room or something, or
right, the cleaning room. That's the last line of defense room, and yeah, they keep writing on paper and talking French. Try not to talk English if they possibly can help it.
and she's finishing his liquor.
Yes. Yeah, she's getting tanked on that. I was thinking to myself, going like, that probably the last thing you probably wanted to be doing, in a situation like this, because you're gonna get toasted, and whatever native language it's gonna be, you're gonna speak. And I got the feeling that it was English for the both of them. And they're trying to speak in French, and then Grant, we see once again, he's showing off. He's a lot more deeper character than what you would expect. He's sitting there figuring it out. It's like, how does this work? Because I mean, that's the whole key. It's like, what word would I say that would trigger you? And it's not the same word. It's not like if you say corgi, you're gonna go nuts. I mean, you know what I'm saying, right? I mean, it's like, there's no different word. I mean, for if I say corgi, that might trigger Ben, but if Ben says orange cat, that would trigger you and me. It wouldn't be just one universal word. And I thought that was really interesting. I thought, it's like you have to find the key word that triggers them.
Hers was kill.
Yes. And then she started repeating it, and he almost didn't miss. He almost didn't catch that. And then he's sitting there trying to figure out, what could I substitute? I got to substitute something. and then he came up with kiss. Kill means kiss, which I thought was actually I thought that was actually a beautiful statement. I thought that was really interesting by Burgess. You know, a word of hate being, you know,
A word of love.
a word of love. I thought that was really moving, actually. You know, kiss means, you know, kill means kiss. You know, kill means kiss, and then they kiss, and then she comes back out of it. Um, I thought that was good. I like how they did that, and you can
Saved her
definitely
life.
see that. Yes, and did you not sense the chemistry between the two leading? I mean, when you know, you know, you can definitely tell that they had
I didn't know
real
they were
life
married.
chemistry. Oh, but you could by watching that scene and going like,
Mhm.
man, that's some intimacy right there. Um, but I thought that, you know, the way he kissed her, and then you hear what was going on. It has sort of like that. Didn't they have that sort of ending toward you know, the Return of the Living Dead, where or the Crazies, where they're going to get nuked, and there was just a you know, like silence, you know, or explosions being or happening. I mean, where you knew something bad was going to happen because the town was infected. Um, and you could hear them, you know, sort of like I'm trying to think of a good movie where all hell's breaking loose all around them except for them. You know, the world's going to hell. Miracle Mile, that'd be one. The world's going to hell, but we have our moment here. Um, what do you think of the idea of defeating the virus? Was that a good idea with language, or would it be too hard, or would it be too hard for people to do?
I don't think they really had a good grasp on how to do it. You know what I mean? I think he like you could see when he got back to the state to the like the booth and he was like trying to like broadcast, oh, this is you know like whatever, you know, he's just thinking of words and trying to like
This is this word.
yeah, and he's like
You.
and she's like you can't say that because it defeats the whole purpose if you tell him like this, you know, like so they didn't quite have a grasp on how to deal with it at all. So he just sort of like switched into a different mode, and there was like that countdown, right? So to their demise or whatever, implied demise.
I thought that was a countdown in French.
Hmm.
Yep. A kaboom. So
Well,
was that? What about the ending then, with them in black and white and Sin City look to them and?
Yeah, it's just mysterious. I don't
Mhm.
know. I think
I
like
was like, what? No, I'm
yeah, that was
confused.
interesting.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Have to wait for the sequel.
Yeah, the sequel did come out called Dreamland. It came out in 2019, and they're supposed to be working on another sequel, but nothing really has come up from that yet. I I was a little surprised because I don't think this. I mean, I know this is a cult film, but I'm not necessarily sure it made its money back. You know,
Pontypool was like it's like a really small production, so I wouldn't be surprised if it made its money back.
yeah, I think this is like it's probably a movie made out of love. You know, like, you know, I want to do it just because I want to do it. The box office was a little over 32,000, but I did another IFC review called Save the Date, and that movie made a little over $8,000. And this is the problem. I'll say this is the same problem with that movie, with a lot of IFC movies, is they would get these type of movies, and then they would play them at the IFC Center in New York,
Mm.
and that was it. You know, that they play them there, and then whatever they did, they did. There was no nation, you know, there's no playing across the country like they are now. I mean, now an ISC movie can make, you know, millions on an opening weekend. Um, And back then, this is the problem with it. It's like you're buying these great movies, but no one's getting a chance to see them until you put them out in home release. And and that's and I think looking back at it, I think that the IFC, in a sense, I mean, they got all these, it's like you got all these great, it's like buying something really cool and then not showing anybody. It's like buying a Mona Lisa but not displaying it. It's like it's still in the vault. You're not going to show anybody. What's the point? I just felt like that too. When I see a lot of these great IFC movies, and I know that's what happened to them. They were, just being played at the IFC center. Like I thought the cable network station, the IFC station they had on cable, when I saw that was the first time I saw that. I thought it was basically ahead of its time. Like they were playing all IFC movies. That's the reason why that's why it's called the IFC channel. And then you turn it on, and all of a sudden you see this shit that everybody else is playing. And I
Yeah,
was
like
like,
Two and a Half
wow.
Men and Anger Management and
Yeah.
Mike Molly and stuff. It's like, why are they
I
playing
don't
that? That's not IFC.
know.
There's the IFC. There's documentaries. There's all
Oh my!
kinds of shit
They got over 1,000 movies. They got over 1,000 movies in their library, and you telling me you can't put a few of them on your TV station? I just don't get it. I don't understand what the goal is. And I just feel bad for a movie like this that got released and never got a chance to really get seen, because it's a cult movie now. It's a cult favorite. I do hear people talk about this movie. Not a whole lot, but I do hear them talk about it.
I think it received a lot of it's well received. Like the response from critics was like everyone, for the most part, liked it. I think but that doesn't always.
It got played at the Toronto Toronto International Film Festival, and that's probably the third best festival outside of Sundance and Cannes, as far as like I dare say it's actually surpassed Sundance in terms of importance. I think it's Toronto and then Cannes, or Cannes being number one and then Toronto. But back when this movie came out, it just didn't. You think about what would happen now if this movie got released today. Well, for one thing, I think it would get a wide release. We get it would be maybe it wouldn't get 3,400 screens, but maybe it would get like 1,500 or 1,200 and get a chance to make the filmmaker some money.
I feel like in 2008, still a lot of independent films just went directly to the home market or whatever. Like they didn't necessarily, they did the festival tour, but they didn't really get a release on screens.
It's just sort of weird.
Yeah.
It's sort of weird to read in the trades, like all these different companies will, like Neon or A24 or IFC, or they'll make an announcement that they've acquired this movie, which is great. You acquired it, we want to distribute it, and then you get that, and back here for IFC, we want to distribute it, and yet you're distributing it to 4 screens. It's like, I don't, you're paying a lot of money to do so. I don't know. I mean, if you look, I mean, I'd be very curious to see exactly how much money a lot of their movies got. Did they ever recoup the money that they invested in when they bought it? I mean, now I would sit there and say, yes, a lot of the movies that they release, they're making a profit now, but beforehand, no, not at all. You're not making a profit with $32,000.
Yeah, but the box office only tells part of the story.
Yeah. Well, now
DVD sales.
Well, yeah, but now we don't have those.
Yeah, but back in 2008, there was still DVD sales, and now you still have Pontypool is on Shutter, and you think they didn't negotiate a licensing
4K.
fee on their streaming side?
Yeah. And there were still, and that was definitely still before when my copy here is Blockbuster. In fact, actually, it's a Blockbuster exclusive, so I'm sure they paid money for that as well. So, and rentals and people buying them. I'm sure that happened. I just think the movies of yesterday would be doing much better today if they were, I mean, I said this when we were talking when we decided to just do some Shutter films. I'm glad. I'm glad. I think that's smart that they, that Shutter and IFC are working together since they're basically working for the same company. And I'm not averse to that. I'm not sitting there going like, wow, I think it's smart. Hell, if Shutter can get movies into a theater or get them on a better streaming deal or whatever, more power to them. The goal is just to get them seen. That's really the whole goal is, as for me as a cinephile, someone who loves IFC, I just want the most people to see it. And I mean, a movie like Pontypool, man, I want you to see this movie. I really do. I don't want to see people sit there and say, "Wow, that's a movie I've never heard of before." No one really talks about that movie. It's like,
We
what
get this
was
one
what
in
type?
a Tuskegee tapes or some shit.
Right.
Tuskegee.
Yeah, Boskiki tapes.
Oh, she's infected everyone. Kiss his kill. Kiss his kill.
Uh-oh. Kill, kill, kill. Meow, meow, meow. How about this? Let me ask you guys this. I mean, what's I mean, if when you hear someone talk about, you hear people talk about like undervalued gems, or no one, people really don't talk about that movie or whatnot. What would be a movie if you heard me say, man, I'm looking for something to watch, but I don't have any idea. I don't know, like I've heard, and you had a chance to expose somebody to a brand new movie that that it's a gem for you, but sure shit enough that no one else has watched it. What movie would you recommend?
Probably Halloween. No, I'm just. I always recommend movies, and no one ever takes me up on them. I recommend like Spring pretty often. No one ever wants to watch Spring because I like it because it's like pretty genre bending. I don't know. That's one of the ones I always recommend.
What movie to recommend?
Yeah, that is that the Orange Cat?
Yep, it sure is. He keeps jumping up. Like I get him, and he wants me to put him in,
yeah.
he
Well,
jumps
don't
back
pick him
down.
up. That's
I like Thanksgiving. I guess that's not like Scream or anything, but I like that one.
Yeah, I think that that's everybody knows about that one though. I mean, I'm talking about something that like when we do movies like this, like like there's like look, I mean, look at our audience. Our audience, should tell you that nobody really knows about what we're talking about because they're not here. I mean, if we did if we did this on Scream, everybody would be here, But we do movies, and we do movies that nobody really knows about. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, what movie would you recommend to somebody who
Well, I didn't pick Haunter for my movies, right? Ever?
No, not yet.
So I could pick that for my December movie. Well, what I watched of it, I would recommend that one. That one was pretty nice.
I recommend that one too. That's a banger.
That's
a great one.
Have you seen Spring, Patrick?
I have not. Is that ISC?
Might be. I don't know. They've got 1,000 titles. Could be.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is I'm sitting there, I'm watching this, right, and they're showing the previews. They showed a movie I had never even heard of. I mean, I've been on IFC site many, many, many times, and I've never seen this movie yet. There popped it up. It's called The Skeptic, and I'm going like, I never saw that. I never saw that on the IFC site. Like that's an interesting movie. But I was like, how many movies do they have? I don't know if they have their entire catalog up on their website.
That's sad. They should.
They really should. They really should.
How will we know?
And they should have a way for you to buy them too. And that's one thing IFC does not have. They don't have a way for you to buy them. Like what if I don't want to go through what if I don't want to go through a boutique label like
Streaming service.
Kino? Yeah, you can go through Vinegar Syndrome and end up paying $40 for a movie that you would have paid $10 for or $12 for. I don't want to do that. I'd rather just go to IFC and say, hey, I'm going to cut out the middleman. How much for that one? I can let you have that for $18 or something like that. Okay, I'm about ready. I would be willing to do that more than go to Vinegar Syndrome and pay $40 for it. I mean, just for the chance of saying I got it from Vinegar Syndrome. Who gives a rat's ass? I don't want to pay $40
Comes
for
with a really thick slip cover.
Shit. Now, Mary, you know what? We're getting cynical, but you know what? You're absolutely right.
I don't know. I disagree. I collect physical media, and I put value on like a movie that I like getting a really
nice... you like. Yeah, you want to have that boutique label. You want to have a nice slip cover. You want to.
Yeah, but wouldn't you want to? But wouldn't it be better if you have $40, right? If you have $40, and you could buy one at the if you could buy one at Vinegar Syndrome for $40. Or you could buy, say, 4 over at Hamilton Book. Get, maybe, where are you going to go? You're going to go spend the $40 just to say that I got it from Vinegar Syndrome? Or are you going to go to Hamilton Book?
Yeah, but it's
for $10. I
don't think it's really to say I got it from Vinegar Syndrome. It's not like a status symbol. Like no one sees my fucking collection.
Well, I'm saying the boutique people in our community, yeah, they brag about that shit. That's why they have live streams. Whenever those companies have sales, they have live streams so you can go over what they're selling. I mean, they're there for that. They have a couple hundred people there sitting there looking at that shit from Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah, but
to pay that kind of money.
I mean, well, money is all relative. So like $40 for someone might not be the same as $40 to you, but I have limited space at this point. I'd rather have a nicer edition of fewer movies than just a metric fuck ton of movies. I don't have a whole lot of space, in my apartment. So like, I don't know.
Right.
There's something to be said, in my personal opinion, for like quality of releases over, quantity.
Yeah, that's one. Actually, it's one of the reasons why I used to get IFCs, because the quality of their containers were so good. I mean, it's very distinctive, clear channel. As soon as you see the movie, as soon as you saw the case, you knew it was an IFC movie for a long time, until some companies started mimicking their packaging. But as soon as you walked in there, you knew what. As soon as you saw it, you knew it was an IFC film. The lettering and the clear cases and whatnot. Let's see. Nanette says that she'll never buy a movie from Vinegar Syndrome. Yeah, that's just
Well, it doesn't mean I wouldn't want to.
Oh no! I mean, if I see one at the library, I get like I've gotten more Criterion, more A24s than I have IFCs at the library.
I have a few Vinegar Syndrome. I don't collect Vinegar Syndrome per se, but I have a few.
Yeah.
Oh, I would only
nice.
Me. I got those. Like I went. When the Criterion goes to half price, I always go there just to see what the cheapest of the cheap is. Unfortunately, it's always the same 10 movies. Every single sale is the same 10. They don't ever move them around. Because I would sit there and say, boy, if they ever move these things around, I would actually invest and get a movie for $8 or 2 for $16. I would invest in that for a Criterion that I would want, but they don't. They always keep the same. Yeah, they always keep the same one. So, so I just wait for the library. But now Mary's got this thing down on lock. She's going to Second and Charles.
This at my thrift store. I've never heard of it.
You got Birds of Prey?
Yeah.
That's fun.
It's a neat cover though.
That is a badass. That's Ashley Scott. Yeah.
Batman's little girl is all grown up.
Yeah, Huntress.
I do. I have like a super deluxe release of that.
Do you?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
really?
no one's
A
ever seen
Birds
it.
of Prey?
Yeah, I usually keep the horror, but like, I watched that movie and I just liked it. And
Nice.
I saw a thing, uh, and I got it.
I've been getting like loose DVDs, and then I just put them in these things, and I don't. A lot of times I don't care about the case. I just watch the movie.
Wow, I like that Birds of Prey. I thought it was enjoyable. I was bummed out that it only lasted 10 episodes. I was sitting there going like,
I got this at the thrift store. I've never heard of this one.
which one,
Wreckage.
what is it?
Wreckage. Unrated.
So that sounds like a Yui Bowl movie, doesn't it?
Phase 4.
Oh yeah, they're gone. Phase 4 is
Phase
done.
4 films.
Yeah, they put out some bangers too.
Definitely looks like a slasher. But it's
I watched Hobo with a Shotgun for the first time yesterday.
I just self-ties the Blu-ray, so I found that one. In my group. I have to watch.
I mean,
the rest
I
of
will
it.
say that I will say this: of all the labels that we never talk about at all, we really don't. Is Magnolia and Magnolia Magnet. Yeah, no one. Yeah, I like their movies. I get them a lot. I just never really talk about them that much. I watch them, but I'm going
Yeah,
like,
they can get some pretty bloody ones in Magnets.
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They get some great movies, martial art
quite
movies.
a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, I'm gonna get going here in a little bit, pretty quick.
I was just gonna say, do you have any idea of what you want to watch next month?
I feel like we never did Would You Rather, did we? Or did we?
Oh no, we did not. That was this close to picking that one. That's
I think that's an IFC movie, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it is. That's why I'm. Yeah,
let's do that. Let's do that one.
Yeah, let's do Would You Rather.
Okay. I like that one a lot.
Oh, all right.
My son picked
I don't know. I might
me to
have
watch. I was like, whoa.
Is that with Catherine Winnick?
I don't know, but it's got Jeffrey Combs in it.
Oh, that's good enough for me.
Sasha Grey.
Oh, you have me. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
And then Mary, you get it back on December, and I think you'll be doing Haunter, right?
More than likely.
Okay.
I did have another one called Unsane. I was looking at too.
Unsane.
That's like 2018.
Isn't that like Steven Soderbergh?
Yeah, that's Steven Soderbergh.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's not. Yeah, I don't think that's not IFC. I don't think it's Shudder either.
Okay.
No.
I thought it was an IFC one for some reason.
No, I don't think he's ever done an IFC movie. I was thinking it was Shudder, but it's not Shudder either. I know which one you're talking about.
You know what? Maybe we should talk about Spring next time. It's not IFC, but it was, I think, like an independent film when it came out, 2014.
I will put that on the top.
If you wanna, who put it out? Do you know?
I sent you the Wikipedia link in the chat.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me see who's got it.
The company was XYZ Films.
XYZ. Okay. XYZ Films. They actually do a lot of. They actually do a lot of co-releases with IFC actually, and Magnolia actually too. You know what, Ben? Let's do it. Let's do your movie. Let's do Spring.
Yeah, that's because no one ever watches it, and I say, hey, you guys should watch Spring.
Okay. Well, you got us.
It's going to make an interesting conversation because it's a real genre bender.
2014, right?
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Was that Spring or Rites of Spring?
It's Spring, just the single word. I sent it.
It's on Tubi.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It says
that's
it's
good
on
enough
Tubi.
for me. All right, so we're gonna do Spring in November, and then we're gonna go ahead and do. Well, you tell me what you want to do because you said you have maybe a couple you want to do. If you just let me know which one you decide on, so I can make the banner up.
Sure.
All right. What are you guys doing on your? We got to rate the movie, and then we're gonna do what's going on our channels, and we're out of here. So what are we gonna rate?
7.5. 7.5.
7.5. I go.
Yeah.
I go 7.5. 7.5. 7.5. I go with that.
Yeah. 7.5. 7.5.
I go like I feel like it was pacing wise a little slow. Like maybe I wanted a little more energetic pacing, but I would give it maybe a little higher, 8, maybe 8.5. Interesting.
8.5.
Yeah.
Oh, Ben coming through big.
Yeah.
Let's see, Nanette said she's got some really good, nice DVDs for Goodwill. Oh man, it's great if you got good deals. Okay, so okay, Ben, what do you got coming up on your channel? What are we gonna see what are we gonna see our boy that you've been working on at work?
Well, I got him all printed out, but I got to do like all sorts of stuff, and I've just been recovering after surgery.
Okay.
So, and I haven't been like active on social media or YouTube or anything at all.
Yeah,
but-
I might have posted a picture once this week. That was it.
Okay.
Wasn't feeling any of it myself.
Okay. Yeah, I'm taking November off myself, so to recharge the battery. The only really live stream I'm going to be doing will be the IFC show. Yeah, that's that'll probably be the only thing I'm doing, and watch parties, but those really don't take any energy. But yeah. All right. What's going on with you, Mary? What do you got coming up? You got another box coming?
I might get loose ones. I did get some. I had P2 in it for horror movies in quarantine.
Nice.
The rest of them were decent though. No scratches. Spies Like Us, stuff like that. It was like 100 loose. So I've been going through them and watching them. So I like them. And then I drew Freddy.
Nice. Is that the Jackie Earl Haley Freddy or Robert England Freddy? Okay, Jackie Earl.
Robert. No, the Robert, of course.
Oh, Robert. Okay. All right then. Robert. So, well, Ben, just take your time, man. Go slow. You work your way up to it, and when we still got you here on the ISC, so that lets YouTube know you're still alive and breathing with us. So, and that will be, by the way, that will be at November 30th. Will be for spring. And then of course with Mary.
It's my son's birthday, but
what is
November 30th.
November 30th, your son's birthday.
Yeah.
Do you want to do like maybe? It's also like the Sunday after Thanksgiving, so I'm going to be out of town. I imagine traveling back. Do you want to do it like a week early or late, maybe?
Yeah, we could do it on. Let's see. How about Thanksgiving's the 27th.
Mm-hmm.
How about the 23rd would work for you?
23rd.
Probably, yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Sounds like a better plan, Stan.
Okay, so
because I'm not sure if we'll go out to dinner or what we'll. Sometimes we'll go bowling or something.
Sweet.
Go.
All right, so 23rd for Ben with spring, and then Mary 28th of December for you for the movie you picked.
The 28th.
Yeah, is that good, or you want to do the 21st?
Yep. No, okay. that was fine. I just yeah, I'm still thinking. I'll tell you though.
Okay. So spring will be interesting. That'll be an interesting show, and I'm looking forward to it. And I guess that's it for us. We're gonna get out of here, and so thank everybody who came out in the chat and hung out with us. Thank you too again for coming out and hanging out. Again, the Knights are back together. Good show tonight, and we will see you next month for spring, and we'll be on Ben's channel for that 8 o'clock Sunday. All right, everybody, have a great night.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Ben.
Bye, Ben.
Bye.
Ben.